Good evening, everyone. I think we're streaming. We should be streaming. Hello and welcome to the fourth race of the Grand Prix Classic Championship, hosted by Semi-Slick Racing. I'm your commentator today, Vindict, and I'm here for the German Grand Prix that we are showing today. Was the fourth race of the series, as I just said. Let me look quickly at the calendar. You see we're nearly halfway through the season. At the end we will be, with the exception of a non-championship race, which will be held in 2 weeks time, which I should be commentating, but some things have come in between and maybe they're gonna stop me from commentating. We will see about that. If I'm not online next week, you'll know where the priorities were. But it's not championship route, so no points will be given there in 2 weeks time. It will be on Monaco, and if you are a Monaco lover, hopefully I'll be able to stream. But if you like to drive it, make sure to join us. Command is !SSR in the chat. And in fact, I will be pinning that message anyway, so it's much easier for people to find. I should have done this before the stream, but you know, better late than never, as they say. There you go. So if you want to join these races, make sure to do that. To go to the SSR Discord link will be in the description on YouTube and is in chat currently on Twitch. So what is this? What are we looking at? Well, we're looking at a championship, and it's getting very interesting. After the last race, let me show you what we're looking at. That's the wrong one. Excuse me. The standings. Domska has shown great strength this season in these cars. He's been dominant in the first race, dominant in the second race. Last race, however, his teammate, the Crow, faster than him. Genuinely on pace. He just had a much better race. But it was changeable conditions. There was a wet track at the start. People had to switch off of it. The Crow was a lot more comfortable in the tricky conditions. I will say, last stream was extremely frustrating because the tires weren't shown correctly. Turns out people were on softs for like basically the beginning. I think the Crow and Domska both were on the slicks at the start, and they just they never drove on any wets. They didn't think that was worth it because they would only be faster for like 2 or 3 laps. Unfortunately, we had no way of knowing. So, yeah, that's AMS2 for you. Sometimes the tires don't show correctly, and sometimes the conditions in which the wets are faster do not make any sense. Domska faster Benetton guys, also quite close. Geralt even splitting the Legers, but the point difference between Geralt and the Crow is only 1 point. And as you can see on this practice session, which means nothing, but we're going to look into it anyway. Crow currently fastest on track. That has to count for very little, but maybe something. Oh, and it won't count for very much if that's what happens in the race. Hopefully that is just a practice thing. Further down the list, Randers wasn't there last time, but he held on to 5th place. He's doing great this season. Statue, best of the rest last time, and is as a result on the same amount of points. Also very impressive from him. Michael, if you are a very avid watcher of the series, he was higher up. He had more points. I think he had 19 points. He's been given a 20-second time penalty for cutting the track in several places, some of which was called on the stream. As a result, he dropped back down, and he's now equal on points with his teammate. Silver, teammate of Randers in P9, and Cavalo in P10. So, see, the top 5 teams have the top 10 positions, which is very fun. Abo last time had such a good performance, he's immediately up to 11th with HGM. And a little bit further down the driver's standings, we have something interesting to note. Nolsey, of course, will be joining today, probably. I don't think he's in the server yet. No, he won't be. I think he will join at the death of the session, of the qualifying session. And if he doesn't make it, then he will not be there, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. Max Manfred is here today. Mario is not here today. He will be replaced by Nolsey, if he shows up. Brad Dice here today, and our regular reserve driver in Arderick, after last race, he had a couple of near incidents. He didn't full-on collide with anyone, but there were a couple of very dodgy events where he would brake a little bit late for a couple of corners and narrowly avoid drivers, or drivers narrowly avoiding him. And with the standards in this championship, along with the fact that in Brazil he did similar things and it did result in crashes, they decided to remove him from this championship. He will not be allowed to race anymore unless he shows improvements. He has the opportunity to do that on Wednesdays to show that he drives a lot better, has much better control over cars, or specifically these cars really, because these cars are really not that easy to control. They're fast, that's one thing. Honestly, that's most of the thing, and they're downforce reliant. Which means that if you drive behind someone, and that's really the kicker, if you drive behind someone, you will have less downforce, you need to brake earlier. Sometimes even, honestly, if you're not comfortable in the car, you need to just lift and coast into a corner when you're behind someone and leave good space and only go for a move once you're confident that you can make it or at least keep it safe. That's challenging. Not every driver will be great at doing that. But the most important thing is that it doesn't become a danger for other drivers, in the sense that they can still do their races without any crashes, any interference from other drivers outside of regular battles. So as a result, he has been banned from participating in future races for this championship only. Which was a tough decision for the stewards, I am very sure. The Crow showing off that he can drive this car very well around this track as well. If you ignore that crash from earlier, he seems to be very comfortable. Randers and Silver, both of them look to be close together. Of course, this is practice. I don't know what fuel load these drivers are on. I know that Crow has been doing mostly long runs. I haven't seen him go out, do a lap, and then go back in again. And hopefully these drivers also practice their pit stops, or have practiced their pit stops before they joined. That is an area where mistakes are very easy to make. Very easy to make. So far, so good. Let's look through the grid that we have today. Anything interesting? We have Cavallor doing a decent job so far in the Ferrari. Currently 10th in the championship, as you saw a moment ago. And yeah, hopefully today we'll be able to improve on that. I'm hoping before next race that I have a list of what position every driver finished in which race. That would be very nice. I haven't worked on that yet. All of the overlays are my own. Here's another overlay that I made. You can see all the teams and the drivers that are driving for them today in championship order. So Ligier, the top team with Domska and the Crow, both here today. Dustin and Gerald complete their team. Benetton, as Cavallor makes a mistake, keeps it nicely under control, kind of. Then the grass is very slippery and he spins again. We'll have a look at Michael, who was done in by the stewards earlier this week. He will be in the Sauber team that is currently, impressively, in my opinion, in third place. Hopefully they can hold on to that. We do have Randers back and his teammate. They'll be fighting for points as well. Trying to overtake Sauber team again. We'll have a look at the standings there in a bit. Ferrari team, of course, the regular people. The Jordan team, which I'm actually low-key quite impressed by. HDM and Max have really shown up when it mattered, taken the points home, and as a result, they're essentially best of the rest as a team. Oh, excuse me, that's spoilers. Wrong button. Yeah, you see the McLaren, we've got a ride or die, the regular driver, and Nolsey is a reserve driver. He is expected to join today, and he's actually here already, so he will be qualifying, I assume. Sometimes people just join. And then they don't. They just sit there because they know maybe they need to eat in real life, you know. But they don't. We only have one Minardi today in JJ. The Parmalat team is complete. And the MTV Simtech Ford team is just Maserati today. PC Finch couldn't make it. We're completely missing the team of Geordie. And I forgot which team that was, but we'll look at it in a bit. Let me remove that one. And I quickly want to have a look before we go anywhere else. Got 3 minutes, so we have to be quick. Team standings, well, of course, you see the same order as I had spoiled, but I want to look at the gaps because the Sauber, the Williams, and the Ferrari, they are so close together. 4 points separates the Ferrari and the Sauber, and there's a team in between. And the Williams, I expect to take that 3rd place. Randers is an absolute missile this season. If he can hold on to that, he will absolutely have a very good shot of pushing his team ahead of the Sauber team. But Nacho and Michael are both very consistent. A bit of a shame for that penalty, I think, for Michael. Would have been a couple of extra points for the team that they would have absolutely appreciated. But so be it. The Ligier and Benetton team, they are both well ahead. Dustin, Gerald, The Crow, and Domska, all 4 of them have been super consistent, have been finishing very high up every single race. I think The Crow, honestly, despite winning last race, is maybe the weakest link in there. He's had a couple of inconsistencies. Hopefully they don't show up too much. See Jordan ahead of McLaren. Let's see if they can hold on to that. Nolsey, of course, is a very strong driver and might push the McLaren team ahead. So we'll see about that. Minardi and Parmalat equal on points. Terrell and Simtek have not scored any yet. Alright, let's quickly get ready for the next session, which will be the qualifying session. The Crow has the fastest lap so far. Of course, this is practice. It literally does not matter. I feel like... We've got Dustin Silver doing an alright job as well. Really in P4. Oh, that's a big slide, a very good catch from Michael there. He's not letting up, really trying to push the car, see where the limit is. Of course, times don't matter, but car control does. You see one of the brake markers has already been destroyed. This is a bit of a problem on this track. I've fallen victim to this, admittedly, where one of the brake markers was destroyed, and I was watching that brake marker. That was my brake marker, but was gone. As a result, I completely missed my braking point, and I went straight into the wall. Michael is really lighting up the rears, though. I doubt that's good for the rears. I think he's just trying to see where the limit of the car is. Ooh, over there. And I think, is that Cafalo behind? It is Cafalo behind. It almost looks like they're fighting for position, but they just happen to be similar in pace and similar in current position on the track. And yeah, Cafalo with a very nice overtake. Oh, but Michael defends. Is that within the lines? Oh, that's a really strong defense. It's not even race time yet, but that is incredible. That's a very nice move. Cafalo goes for it again on the inside. Seems to have the better straight line speed. I think lower downforce we're seeing. This is crucial information, because if they're going to be similar in pace, they're going to be fighting again. It's good for Michael to know. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. It's fine. It's practice. It's nice to see some fighting happen already. And a few seconds before we... it's not entirely that you get kicked out of the session. You'll have a little bit of time. You see Cavalo so much faster in a straight line. Good to know. He will be on a lower downforce setting, and Michael is more on a high downforce setting. I haven't talked so much about the track yet. I will do that in a bit, because it is interesting what we're looking at. German Grand Prix around the Hockenheim ring, not the modern one, as you may have noticed. We are looking at an old version. It's essentially you drive through the forest and they put a couple of chicanes in there. And the rest is basically flat out. Then when you come back into the arena section, you've got a couple of challenging technical corners, like this one. And you go across the line, and there's a turn one as well, which is very fast and very precise. if you want to get everything out of it. Let's just see here. It's not as pointy as it is now. I think you're able to carry a bit more speed. It flows a bit nicer, but it's still on the limit, as you will have already seen from other drivers. Nolsey already fifth time, just coming in and immediately warm. Dustin is still driving. Let's have a look at how he controls his car. I see it's sliding a little bit. I think the netcode on... Well, I know the netcode on AMS2 isn't great, but the connectivity, I think, is also struggling a little bit. He's opting to go for a pit entry practice. Very important to get that right. If you speed, you will get 10 seconds added to your time, and that can easily mean the difference between... well, it can subtract a couple of points from your championship, and you wouldn't want that. Randa's also setting the fastest lap at the death of the session. Of course, doesn't really matter, but it's nice to have. And as we quickly switch over to qualifying, let's see who gets out of the pits first. I'll drive along with them, whoever they are. Statue? Yes, Statue. Okay. Hopefully he keeps it all on track. Okay, quickly, I want to quickly thank a couple of people that joined. We've got Jessica, we've got Immortal, and RR. Yes. Thank you so much for following on Twitch. And if anybody else is watching and they want to keep watching these races that happen a couple of times this year, 4 more times after this. It's on Sundays, same time, 7 o'clock European, Central European time, or Central European summer time, which will be in effect next time. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, if you want to keep watching them, if you want to get notifications on when I am online, do make sure to follow. And if you're on YouTube, you want to see the VODs, make sure to subscribe. Small thing, it does help me out. And yeah, I wanted to just waffle. Honestly, I was only doing it to waffle the time that Statue isn't at the start finish. I normally like to do my talk about track as they're driving their fast lap. So just waffle through the first half, but the first, the out lap, excuse me. But his Statue is building up gradually, and it's a pretty long lap. So 144s earlier, I don't think will be faster for sure. It won't be 10 seconds faster, if you know what I mean. So yeah, let's go on the roof for Statue. Who I think currently is best of the rest in a certain sense. Going through turn 1, carrying speed on the power as early as he can. He's actually taking it quite really as a banker lap. He's got a lot of margin there. Something to improve on future laps. But then it's just a long straight. He's got low downforce, we know that. And he is choosing for an early alignment for the chicane. Staying on the left side. Late on the brakes, missed that apex a little bit. Nicely on the rest though, early on the power. There goes past the mobile 1 signs. He want to line to the left again. Every chicane is, the first 2 chicanes at least are righty lefties. And ooh, slightly past the chicane, a little bit too late. You see that compromises his exit a little bit. We got one more chicane, that one is opposite, lefty righty. And then we go to the arena section. We'll be setting up here. This is always exciting for fights. It's very tough to get right. Yeah, hits the apex nicely this time. Not perfectly, but a lot better than the other two for sure. And he immediately opts to align towards the left. You can take a lot of space here. You want to take as much as you can. Brake when you can, and then run the car to that apex and the outside as much as you can. This do not go straight like Sebastian Vettel did that one time, if we all remember, through this technical section, which is exactly the same as it is in modern F1. The lines here are slightly different, but everything else roughly the same. Get on power as early as you can and go across start finish for a lap of Hockenheim. 144.1, immediately beaten by Domska, who is absolutely shows a statement of intent here. Immediately in P1 ahead of Statue, and Silver not able to match the time of Statue. And Nacho, that is not even a banker. I don't think that's representative. Let's see what he is doing. Let's see who else hasn't set a lap time yet. Gerald Schmid, I think, is... Where is he? I think he's still in the first half of the track, so it will take a little while before he sets his time. Grabs a little bit of slipstream from the McLaren. Will help him a tiny amount. Potentially. I don't think it was that strong of a slipstream for him. But really, you see how much more curb he takes. Allows him to carry more speed through the second part of the chicane, and as a result has more on exit. Doing an excellent job there. That was the first chicane only. He's now going for the second one. Let's see how he takes this one from the roof. You have to be a little bit more careful there, I think, because it's much easier to hit the grass on the inside. He nails it though, no grass touched. And then the third chicane. Let's see how he handles that one. Oh, I see. Hang on. Randers has set an equal time to Domschka. Hang on. This is new. This is new. Not because... Well, I mean, it's incredible that we have equal time for pole position so far on the first runs. That is incredible in itself. But normally, Domschka's first lap is incredibly strong. And it takes people minutes to get past. Randers matches it immediately. That is crazy. And I'm not sure if he thinks he can improve. Domschka does now improve, so he's now ahead of Randers. Gerald is going to set his time. Where is he gonna sort himself? Nosey also P3, very impressive. Best of the rest so far. With Gerald Speed not having set a lap time he has now, and he's actually behind Nosey. That is interesting. And a little bit unexpected. Maybe that wasn't his best lap yet. He did nail the chicanes for what we saw. There were other parts where he struggled a bit more. Dustin, I'm not sure if he's happy about the car ahead. If they let him pass now, he will be extremely happy because he has that slipstream. But I feel like they're both on a lap and he's just faster. No, he lets him pass. Oh, I think Dustin will be happy with the slipstream. I'm not sure if he felt held up before that. That's the only caveat, I would say. Domschka in P1, Randers is in P2. Oh, I feel like, hang on, I'm gonna have to do something really annoying. I'm gonna have to refresh my application, it's struggling a little bit. We've got Domschka in P1 currently. I'm gonna add Nolzy right now into my list because he is a reserve driver driving for McLaren. Cool, and we'll build that up as we go. Dustin sets it in P3 ahead of Nolzy, who is doing a great job in that McLaren. Of course, the McLaren team doesn't have that many points right now, and it would be really nice for the championship if they did get a boost. And Nolzy is here to try and deliver that. Is he going to improve this time? He does not. And all eyes are really on Gerald, because can he get ahead of Nolzy? Because that's something that, with all due respect, should happen. Where is the crow? I haven't actually seen the crow at all. The crow isn't... Oh no, he hasn't set a time yet. He is driving. He hasn't set a time yet. Okay, I was really confused for a little while. But we found him. Statue, hang on. Oh, he's immediately crashed. But he has now set a lap time. And he's ahead of Nolzy. Between Nolzy and Dustin. Is Gerald's gonna jump that gap as well? No, he doesn't. Ooh, Gerald. This is not good for your championship. Of course, he is quite comfortable in his championship so far in terms of being... Well, he's currently second, actually. It's not comfortable, never mind. He is standing to lose that second place as it stands, provided that the Crow, who we're going to look at now, who hasn't set a time yet, provided that the Crow can set a decent time, Geralt is in trouble. Big trouble. For his championship hopes. So what's the Crow gonna do? Is he gonna make life extremely tough for Geralt? Is Geralt gonna have a little bit of luck on his side? I mean, early days, we've still got 5 minutes to go. We're not nearly done yet. So Nacho improves ahead of Silver, making it Sauber in 7th and 8th place. And the Crow improves immediately to 3rd place. I've just realized something. I'm gonna... Ooh. Alright. Work on that on the side. But that's the Crow in P3. Randa's in P2 impressively. Doing such a good job in these cars. I feel like these cars really suit him extremely well. And we're hoping that he will be able to turn this into maybe a win even in the season. That would be brilliant. Nolsey also as a reserve driver in the McLaren. Really pushing that team up. Hopefully he will have a little bit better luck. Last race was a little bit of a mess. For not only him, for a lot of people. Not only because of the start crash that we all saw. But there's more that happened that race. The rain alone was quite a problem. It's the car is crabbing a little bit. I'm not sure. I don't think this is damage related. I think this is maybe netcode related. It's not quite going in the direction that's pointing. It might be damage related if he's moving out of the way now. Yeah, he's not really trying to improve right now. Let's see at Michael. He's also not trying to improve right now. What's Nacho doing? Or let's look at a little bit further back. Silver. He's actually quite out of place, and so is Cafalor. I feel like Cafalor could move up a lot. Let's see if he does. And it's actually crazy. I think the entire top 12... Well, it's not like all ready to win, but I feel like a fight. We're getting a preview of a fight right here. Domska might drive away. Randers might be able to keep up. But I feel like everybody between Statue and Cafalor isn't sorted correctly as it stands. Hopefully it stays that way and we'll have a very exciting race. What I mean with sorted correctly is, of course, drivers that should be faster are not ahead. Should be is a weird term, because it's very possible that today, Statue I think is in an alright place. Maybe Geralt just isn't that fast today. Maybe this track doesn't suit him. Maybe his setup is a bit messed up. And maybe Silver doesn't suit this track, you know. Maybe the same is true with Cafalor. But we do have a lot of people that are able to put in strong performances. The gaps are pretty big though between Silver and Nacho, for example. HTM, impressively, I feel like he's doing better than he should on paper. Currently P12 in the standings, P10 in qualifying. Ooh, I'm not a big fan of that. I feel like Michael's also not a big fan of that. That's interesting. The thing is, if you do that, you could get ahead of someone unexpectedly and that can cause a crash very easily. Thankfully, it didn't happen. We're okay. Domska still in the lead. 2.5 tenths ahead of Randers. That has honestly not changed since Domska had to improve after a straight up tie for pole position. Gonna keep driving. Silver has now set the 8th place time. That's very good to see. Just ahead of Michael. The gap isn't massive, but it is there. Doesn't have to be massive. You have to be 1,000th ahead of your opponent and you win. That's the good news. Quickly. Yeah, okay. Last few laps of the session are going to start coming in. Domska will have this lap, which he will finish, and then we'll have one more lap. Where's Randers right now? Randers is starting his final lap. Okay. Oh, and he messed up. Randers has messed up his final lap. Randers is going to be P2 at best. There's nothing he can do anymore, and he's gotta hope that the Crow doesn't improve. Because the Crow, he should smell blood. If he's aware, he should be aware right now that Randers is in the pits. With this amount of time, it's completely impossible for Randers to start another lap. He messed up turn 1 immediately, and as a result, it's over. He will not be able to improve. Michael, currently in P9, also will not be able to improve. That is also pretty big. Michael currently P7 in the standings and underperforming, it seems. The only person in between that wasn't there from the start of the season is Nolsey. That's one excuse, but there's another excuse that's missing. Oh, and the Crow has messed up his lap before it has even started. This is unrecoverable in the sense that you will be in such a disadvantage. This will not be a faster lap. The Crow is not going to beat Randers, I feel quite confident in saying, because I don't think... You're just missing so much speed here. He's gonna have. He's a couple of tenths behind. He's gonna have to make that up somehow. Randers isn't driving anymore. Domska, I think, is confirmed pole position, unless, and this is gonna be the man we're gonna have to hope beats everyone. Dustin, organizer of the league, of course, and the main man of SSR, the big boss. There's not a lot for the community. There's a reason we're in season 5 right now. It's not the only series he has either run or helped run. But he's also an extremely fast driver. Really 8 tenths behind Domska though. That's a big gap. Is he going to make that up? Gap to the Crow, much, much smaller. And the Crow, I don't think is going to improve. Is he still driving? He is still driving. He's still trying. We're going to have to see if it amounts to anything. I think that is the Crow right behind him. Yes, okay. That will be exciting. I don't think the Crow is going to improve. I will be very, very impressed. And maybe accusing him of cheating if he does improve. Geralt is sort of where it belongs. Statue currently in P6. Nolsey 7. We've got Silver in 8. As Dustin turns into the arena section. Dustin goes around the final few corners. What's it gonna be? Second to last corner, and oh no, he actually drives into the pits. It's not fast enough. He recognizes that. Geralt Smit is in the pits. Domska has confirmed pole position. I'm comfortable in saying that. Domska has pole position. Somebody improved. But Domska has pole position. That is gonna be the Crow in P2. I think that was the last improvement. Then we got Randers in P3. Dom's got pole position, of course. Dustin, Geralt, those are where they belong. Geralt did find the time to get up there. Then we've got Statue, Nolsey, Silver, Michael, Nacho. Next on the list will be Cafalor. HTM, also, great job from him. Sticking a foot into the points. Of course, he has to hold on. That's the hard part. Kamikaze, also, I think very impressive. Has not necessarily been weaker. I don't like that losing that word, but he has been outshone by his teammate Hans Topo before. But now he's doing the opposite. He's ahead. Hopefully during the race he can stay ahead, not make too many mistakes, and it will all be good. Rather die in 14th for the McLaren team. Hans Topo, we've got Maserati AC and Max Manfred, and then Ardo Rick should not be in. I don't know why he is. Oh, he's going to spectate. Okay. There's an understanding he's not going to drive, but he's spectating. I think that's allowed, but or maybe not. Oh, and PC Finch also asking. I'm gonna quickly post in the chat season 5 chat that we have on Discord. For the people that were missing the stream. Okay, we're gonna have to go through this quickly because I was slacking off a little bit, to be honest. Okay. Starting grid. We have Domska and the Crow, the Ligier cars, of course, 1-2, doing a great job. Randers and the Williams, as always, ruining it for the Benetons, honestly. The full 5 could have been 3-4 if Randers wasn't there, but he's doing a great job. Statue in the Ferrari in P6, Nolsey 7th, Silver in 8th place. We'll be happy with that. That's a good job. Michael and Nacho, the Saubers in 9th and 10th. May have hoped for more, but they tend to be strong on the race. Cavalo in the 11th, and ACM for the Jordan team will be very happy to be in 12th. Hopefully he can hold on to that. Then behind that we have Kamikaze, Ride or Die, Hans Topo, got Maserati AC, and Max Manfred, last man on the grid. Yeah, I think that is all. I do see, well, hang on, JJ is also there. I didn't catch JJ. Oh, JJ's 18th. If we go to the starting grid, there you go, JJ 18th, we've done it. But that does interfere. Ooh, this might get a little bit of a... We might hear something about this. This is not good. This is Arderick taking up a spot where JJ should stand. Assume JJ is driving. Arderick should not be driving. And if he does drive, I think there will be very strong repercussions. We'll have to see. Back to the front of the grid then. Don't have great camera, but that's Domska. He has a better start than the Crow. That much is obvious. Actually, Randers has a much better start than the Crow. Immediately on the outside then, is it gonna happen for him? No. But oh, behind, a lot happens. What happened? Dustin is around. Oh my god, a lot happened behind. Silver is not all the way in the back. That's wrong. Dustin has completely turned around. He's driving again, but he's dropped all the way back to 16th. The Crow is currently in P3. Randers has now passed him. Randers around the outside, then oh, it's not gonna happen. And oh, he blocks the Crow. Oh, I'm not sure if he's gonna be happy with that, because I do think there was a rejoin. I'm not sure if Randers is allowed to defend like that. We'll have to see after the race. But there is a genuine battle here. Randers are looking around the outside. Domska has to hold on. If Randers manages to get ahead, there's a very good chance of Randers winning this race, and we would all rejoice. He's been so good this season. He is faster in a straight line. What is Domska going to do? He's going to let it happen. The Crow is also there. That's the big problem. Domska's going to have to defend from the Crow. Ooh, Randers slightly outbrakes himself. But it's fine. Randers is in P1. Randers is currently the race leader. This is not a drill. And behind, there's two Ligier cars next to each other. I don't know which is which. One of them has hit 2 brake markers. People will be very unhappy about that. We've seen that on the stream. And I think it was the Crow that did that. Shame on him. I might be completely wrong. It might be Domska. I'm not sure where the outside car ended up. Domska is still in the wheel tracks of Randers though. This is anything but over. Dustin's already fought himself back to 15th, which is very impressive. A lot happened behind. We'll have a look at that in a bit. But we have a genuine fight for the lead as it stands. Randers seems to be... I'm not sure if he's faster overall. I think he's better set up for a straight. Domska is able to catch up. But as soon as he exits the wheel tracks, and there goes the Crow. The Crow faster than Domska. Maybe Domska let him go. Maybe it wasn't so intentional. They are teammates after all, but sometimes that's only on paper. You, of course, want to win the race yourself. As it stands, Randers is in the lead. What's gonna happen between the Crow and Randers? The Crow on the inside. Is he gonna make this move? When's Randers gonna break? Oh, they are side by side. Randers misses the line a little bit. He has to go off track, and he gets overtaken by 2 Ligier cars. Randers went from 1st to 3rd in one chicane, and Gerald Schmidt is actually not too far behind. Correction, it didn't look that far, but it's actually a decent gap. It's actually, like, fairly safe. Domska is now going to have to hunt for the lead again. Although the Crow, I think the Crow has slightly better race pace. As it stands. It's not quite clear. We're on lap 2. For goodness sake. Well, there was some brilliant fighting there. Randers taking the lead. Domska and the Crow fighting for their position. In the end, the Crow making it past, forcing Randers into a mistake. And the gaps are starting to increase. Gerald also starting to, I think, slightly catch up to Randers. And Nacho, Mr. Nacho, the Austrian in the Red Bull car, 5th place from 9th on the grid. Not a drill. Is Statue, oh, there's a lot going on. Statue is fighting with Maserati. Maserati in P6 is honestly the biggest shock so far. A lot happened behind, of course. There were big crashes. We're talking 7 seconds behind the leaders. But Maserati kept his nose clean. As a result, he is fighting, and there's so much going on here. I don't know who half these people are. It's Statue. It's Nosey. Ooh, Statue makes a mistake. Nosey goes by. Ooh, and Michael has to back out. That's not Michael. I'm very confused right now. That is Michael. Oh, it is a big mistake. Is that Nosey? No. That's Ride or Die. No, Nosey made a big mistake. It is Nosey. I thought I clicked Nosey, but I clicked his teammates that came up. It was very confusing. And Nosey backwards in the barriers. Hopefully he manages to recover. I think this is going to be a long race. Domska is still in P2. This is all normal. Nacho is normal. What is going on here is maybe not so normal. I'm very confused here. There is a... Oh, Silver is a lap behind. That's what's going on. Silver is a lap behind. That's what's confusing me. Also, we have retirements in... I think Nosey retired. Yeah, I don't see Nosey anymore. I think Nosey has retired. That's very unfortunate. Those good chances for the McLaren cars. And somebody else has retired. Ooh. We see another car backwards. Is that... Who is that? Caffalo? I don't know what happened there. Kamikaze in P10. He will be very happy with that. But he's about to lose it to Caffalo. Dustin. Also still driving. Okay, a bunch of people have just retired. I'm not sure in which order. Normally I try to keep track of that. I think Hanstopper was the first to retire. Ooh, and that's Kamikaze. He's also off. He manages to keep the car mostly under control. Hopefully he will keep driving. And he will not. Unfortunately, Kamikaze is our next retirement. Who do we still have? We've Gerald Smith. Maserati is still in P5. That was Nacho's place. Where did Nacho go? Oh, Nacho was backwards. Has Nacho also retired? Nacho has just retired, I think. I think he has also retired. It is a complete slaughter up and down the field. As we're left with 14 people. 4 people have already retired. Maserati makes a couple of moves. I'm not sure if that's... I think that's just about fine. Oh, it is a collision. A little bit of a miscalculation from Statue, I think. Or is Maserati's defending gonna be discussed later? Oh, I hope not. Because when you're ahead, you want to defend. But sometimes it's honestly better not to do that. Because these stewards have shown their teeth recently. They're willing to make drastic changes to how the championship is fought. We got Nolsey in the chat. Unfortunately, had to retire. We saw him spin around. I'm guessing there was a lot of damage on the car. Very unfortunate. He wasn't able to convert into a good result. And Michael is having to fight with Silver. Silver is not letting him by. I'm not sure if Michael's gonna be happy with that. Surely he has to let Michael by now. No, it sucks for Silver that you kind of in quicksand you have to let people by, but yes, now he lets him by. And Michael will be looking forwards towards Maserati. I think it's going to be the next fight we're going to be looking at. Geralt is chasing Randus. This is a fight that's going to happen. This is a fight that is happening. HGM behind Ride or Die. These guys are fighting for positions better than I think they imagined before the race started. And right ahead, Michael is going to be very frustrated, and HGM is going to be benefiting from that. Ride or Die as well. Michael is going to have words. Michael is going to have big, big words. As Ride or Die makes his way straight past HGM again, and Michael is going to try to go straight past him. I'm hoping he keeps his head cool. It's easy to get caught up in the emotion of the situation sometimes. So, hoping that doesn't happen. Ride or Die right behind Maserati will be happy with that as it is. He is also behind Silver right now. I'm not sure how anxious he is about the blue flags that should be given. How is Silver a lap behind? What happened? Did he go into the pits? I'm a little bit puzzled by this. He's probably getting blue flags. Oh. Right, I immediately makes mistakes and slots him behind Silver again. I think he is a lap behind. I think he has to let these people by. But I have seen before, it's not this track. And it was very specific to another track. It was like an airfield track. It's possible that you drive a lap, but it doesn't get counted. It's possible if you miss an invisible checkpoint, essentially. I haven't seen it on this track. I would be very surprised if that's possible here. But we've seen crazier things in this game. It's not out of the question. Yeah, I would be very surprised. HCM has dropped back quite a bit. Ooh, he's struggling. Maybe he has some damage. He's gonna have to nurse that. JJ's in his own little world. Really, the biggest fight here is between Ride or Die and the backmarker of Silver, who I think is just trying to conserve his position as much as possible. A lot of crazy things have already happened, and it's absolutely not out of question that's going to continue happening. This is really the big fight, though. Geralt and Randus, they are fighting for position, and it's a higher position. And I also kind of want to look at Dustin. He will be moving forwards with Cavalo, Ride or Die, and Maserati all on the chopping block. There's a lot happening. I'm not sure if I'll get the time. Quick sip from my teacup to restore the voice a little bit. So much has happened already. Geralt doesn't think of a move quite yet. Randus holds on as Dustin makes his way past Michael, who is not having the best of races. And Cavalo is now in P6 ahead of Ride or Die, also ahead of Silver. This is very interesting in many ways. I'm not sure what's going on with Silver. I'm not sure how he's a lap behind. I think he just had to pit. Oh, there's a collision there. Ride or Die will not be happy with that. I don't know. I don't quite know what's happening. Somebody could do some investigation if Silver is really a lap behind. I think he is. I'm not sure if he's conceded it, essentially. If he's happy with that. He's just trying to drive. Like, the trouble is, like, the reason why I think it might be a bug is because he is driving in a position where I would expect him, had he not had an issue, or had he not had to pit or anything, had he not actually been behind, right? But the fact that he is suggests that he went into pits, took exactly a lap to get out again, and ended up roughly where he should be. Maybe a little less if it was in the spin at the start. It's possible. But it will be a strange event. Not strange, just rare. Rare is of course not impossible. Ooh, Ride or Die was looking at Cavalo. He's actually I have to give credit to this man in the McLaren. With the absence of Nolsey, I thought he would be getting the points for McLaren. We've got Ride or Die here, showing up when it matters. 7th place currently. It might be about to be swallowed by Dustin, but I think he'll be very satisfied with how this race has gone for him so far. I think he should be. Dustin, oh, looks like it has a much better exit. Has to pop into the slipstream again for a little bit of extra speed. On the inside for the next chicane then. Dustin gonna make the move. Ooh, actually, he stays behind. Doesn't have the straight line speed to make it straight past. Right, that makes a small mistake. Now, this is hunting territory. Oh, it's tricky though. This next corner on the inside. Do you want to be here, Dustin? Do you think you can make it? Do you think you can make it, Dustin? Ride or Die lets him have it. He decides, you know what? P7 is great. P8 is fine too. We're not gonna risk it all for an extra position. He's doing all right. He's doing a great job, and Dustin moves up to 7th place. We'll also be happy with that, I am sure. And I noticed JJ is really having trouble. He's currently in P13, and Silver is in the pits. Gonna retire the car, or are we doing a regular stop? Regular stop, I'm not sure if this is regular. It will be very easy. Ride or Die is actually keeping up with Dustin. I was like, oh, there's a fight going on. It's just Ride or Die really keeping up. ACM and Max Manfred, they're both in the points. Both Jordans are in the point. Oh, as ACM, please keep it on. Thank you. Would have really sucked if one of them was removed from the points. And Silver does come out, but he's a lap or 3 or 2 behind right now, so not really a threat to HDM. Gotta keep it on the road, buddy, and you're doing great. Double points for Jordan would be incredible, amazing. They will be very happy, especially because Ride or Die is about to really make that Backmarker team fight into a real fight. P8 currently for this man. P8 gets you, I believe, 5 points. That's a good haul for a Backmarker team for sure. Saying backmarket really just means, yeah, it is really a threefold. The grid is separated in 3. We've got the top 2 teams of Ligier, of Benetton, off the top of my head. The Crow really driving away with it. Ligier team still dominating. Benetton's struggling today. Gerald's 4th place. Behind Arandis in the Williams. There's more of a midfield team right now. Silver not looking to score any points. Randers will be keeping it up. But they're in a fight with Ferrari, with Cafalor in 6th and Statue in 10th. Michael is the only Sauber. Now that is trouble for the Sauber team. Without Nacho, their scoring opportunities are very limited. How close is he, Gerald? He's been looking at this for a while, I think. He's going to make a move. He makes the move. Ooh, is he going to stop in time, though? Oh, he does. He makes the chicane. He comes out of it, and he promotes himself into P3. Is it going to be stable? I think it is. Let's confirm it with a little graphic. Gerald Smith in P3, still fighting with Randers a little bit. Stays defensive on the inside. Randers will have better speed out of their corner, but what are you going to do? Make a move here? Nah. It's very tough to do that. He doesn't try it. Gerald in P3. Will he be moving forwards, or will he be focusing on keeping position? As there is a little bit of fight here. Ride or Die now right behind Michael. I think it used to be the other way around, so something happened there. Cafalor has dropped back to 10th. That's what's confusing me. Cafalor has made a mistake. It's a real shame for Ferrari, currently in P9 and P10 and Cavalo has the box. That probably drops him behind the Jordans. If it's his only stop, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. If he has to make another stop, then that's disastrous. I think he's fine. I think he can do 20 laps. On a single tank of fuel. Ooh, and we do have a retirement in... Wait, who retired? Maserati still driving? Dustin still driving? Ride or Die still driving, thankfully. HDM. HDM has retired. What happened? My man HDM. No. Oh, excuse me. Anytime you right click, the game thinks you want to leave. Unfortunately, HDM has retired, which is, I think, incredibly unfortunate. He was doing a great job. All he had to do was keep it on track, I said. Which is easier said than done on his track, to be honest. It looks simple. It's all straight lines to chicanes. What could possibly go wrong? A lot, it turns out. Specifically in every part that isn't a straight line in a chicane. Chicanes, if you miss them, you might cut the chicane, but you won't be in a wall. But we've also seen trouble on acceleration. We've seen people going straight in the arena section in particular. Turn 1 has been an absolute menace today. It's caused a lot of accidents, or been involved in a lot of accidents, let's say. Don't want to blame a turn. Yeah, as it stands, we still got Dustin trying to catch up to Maserati. And Maserati is genuinely having, I thought was just being maybe a bit aggressively defensive, if you know what I mean. Artificially holding on to a position that he, pace-wise, maybe shouldn't quite have. But his pace is alright. His pace is fine. He's doing a great job today. And I might have to swallow my tongue, to be honest. I'm not sure he's maybe joined one race and had a retirement. So it might be completely unfair that I expected less. But yeah, he's doing a great job. P5 right now, ahead of Dustin, who of course had a big incident at the start. Still a decent gap to close. Smaller gap here between Manfred and Scaflow, but also pretty sizable. Will be trying to catch up to Ride or Die, and maybe even his teammate. So there's a lot to fight for. There's a lot of fight left in this this race. Not much is set, as Gerald Schmidt randomly, I think I just caught the tail of it. Gerald Schmidt has actually conceded position to Randers again. What happened? Randers back on the podium, reinstated. Gerald, if he still has that pace, if he keeps showing it, there's every chance he will get a position back. So yeah, nothing is over, especially on this track. Mistakes are so easily made. It looks like such a simple track, especially if you're used to modern Hockenheim, which is half the same, but it's a lot more technical. There's a couple of parts. Every single thing that has been changed is from a chicane to a tight right-hander into a tough exit, especially in a F1 car. Cars to the long straight. You've got a hairpin. You've got another technical section right before the familiar arena section. So it's become a lot more technical than straights and chicanes. Or as we see, I think that's JJ on the grass. He's hovering over it. That's another AMS2 bug that I think is kind of funny. I don't mind this one. It's a little weird, but it's fine. Well, what we're really looking for, of course, is these two fighting. Let's see, hang on. Is Dustin having trouble? Michael is faster, it seems. Michael's catching up. Or did Dustin make a mistake? Very possible. He's a good driver, he's very experienced, but he's not immortal. As you could tell by the start, to be honest. There's no immortality in view there. Dustin has also, I think, won a Grand Prix that we've hosted here recently. Not recently. A while ago. In the past. In F1 cars. I think that was still with Alan on the grid. That really That really meant a lot. Today, honestly, mostly bad luck. Start was mostly bad luck. Michael really keeping up, and that's incredibly impressive. And he's actually slowing Dustin down a little bit, because I'm pretty sure Dustin now has to think about Michael. Michael, I think, is close enough for a move now. Is JJ still on the grass? Where was I? Michael is thinking about a move now. It was JJ. Round the outside. Is he gonna make it? Oh, he's later on the brakes. What does Dustin see? Oh, he's back in front. Because he was able to release a little bit earlier. Because he broke a little earlier. Michael slightly overshot it. I think that's the conclusion. As a result, Dustin actually has a bigger gap ahead. Is now with a bigger gap, slightly ahead. The big beneficiary, of course, is Maserati AC, who has finally, I do mean finally, unleashed his potential. I couldn't be happier for him. I'm really happy to see that. He's currently in P5, doing a solid job. Michael is still threatening something. Who else is threatening something? It would be Geralt, who is not that far removed from Randus. Gap's still sizable, and I think Slipstream isn't quite enough on its own. That's gonna need a little bit more. But he's got better pace. I think that much is clear. It's not significant, but it is consistently better. I mean, that does make it significant, to be honest. Around the outside then, is this gonna be a thing? Around the outside on this chicane, it is actually just later on the brakes. Randus concedes that position. Didn't want to be caught in a crash. Very nice move, very clinical. Not much to say, other than Randus is right there, and actually there is a lot to say, because Randus is right past again, it seems. Ahead before the braking zone. Oh, in the side-by-side. Oh, and he has to cut the track to stay ahead. Oh, I'm not sure if people will be happy with that. Gerald Smith kind of having an advantage because he went off track. Oh, there's no crash. Oh, I thought for sure my brain was already processing a crash, but there is no crash. There is no touch. Very nicely done from these two. Randus leaving exactly enough space. I had Silverstone 2021 flashbacks. But not warranted. Geralt goes into the pits, is going for an undercut, which I hope for him is faster. Randus is going to keep going. Randus is in P3 for now, and that is going to have to be virtual for a bit, because we've got other things going on. Geralt in the pits. It will come out behind Randus, of course. The real crucial thing is Geralt gonna be well enough ahead of Dustin? I think he is. Okay, that's crucial. If he got involved in this fight, it would be absolutely over for Geralt. The fact that he's ahead gives him very good hope. He just needs to set the laps right now. And Randus is also gonna have to really push to stay ahead at the end of the race. Maserati AC, I think, also has boxed. Currently in P8. I think that's what I was seeing moments ago as well. Somebody went into the pits and I kind of missed who it was. Right, I also in the pits. So we're seeing our regular stops around halfway through the race. That's normally where you would expect it. Though there are strategies to do it later. Specifically because these cars refuel during stops. The fact that you refuel means that after stop you'll be heavier. The fact that you're heavier after stop means you're maybe slower. Depends on what's stronger, the tires or the weight. And often it's the weight. The reason that in modern F1 that's not a factor, or you can't get overcuts, is because you don't refuel. Your cars will at almost all times be roughly the same way. All of them. There are differences, of course, but it won't change during the race. And Michael boxes to try and again, an undercut is hard. Of course, in modern F1, the only difference you will have is tires, and those differences are pretty big. Fresh tires do make a lot of difference, especially because the tires will be set on a car that is lighter than the weight of the car that the previous tires had to deal with. It's often a decently big gap. In this case, I don't think that's going to be the case, or gonna matter too much. Michael comes out, P7 currently. Maserati, ooh, now he's in the pit. Oh, he didn't pit earlier. Oh, he made a mistake pitting. And there is a tragic other possibility. And I think we're looking at it. I think we're looking at a tragedy, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody needs to tell Maserati to change his presets. Somebody needs to tell Maserati to change his presets, because I don't think his cars were fueled. I think we're looking at another classic AMS2 bug. Yeah, and that's Maserati retired. I feel for him, man. So what happens is, I think this is what happened. I'm not sure. I have no confirmation. I am honestly spitballing, but I'm almost willing to put money on this. Maserati went into the pits. He set his car to refuel. He set his car to switch tires. They switched the tires, but it didn't refuel him. And normally people then just try again. They don't know how to fix it. This is a bug. I think is related to presets. Because sometimes you'll be set in a preset where refueling for whatever reason is completely turned off. What you need to do is change the preset to something else that will refuel. And then go in again. If you just go in again, it will not refuel still. And if you don't know that, then it's retirement. You're done. Game over. And Statue misses pit box. Let's go. We got another bingo card. Bingo spot. It happens surprisingly often in AMS2. You're used to one braking distance. You're in a pit lane where the track isn't clean. You have to think of another braking distance. I say this like I know, and I would never make this mistake. I have made the mistake very recently, so the absolute classic. I feel like Geralt is on good pace to maybe overtake Randus. Maybe. After bits. After stops. Look at Michael right now. Doesn't have really anyone around him. There's nobody really with anyone around them. The gaps are 10 seconds or more. Really, we should be looking at Geralt, because he is in a fight. Randus hasn't stopped yet. Neither have the Crow or Domska, to be fair, but I don't think we'll be seeing them until the end of the race. Ligier team has absolutely cooked this season. They have two very strong drivers who are very committed. I think they're working together a lot. They tend to be on the same strategies. Last race, they were on the same strategies. They were both starting on the softs. It worked out brilliantly. The Crow very dominant that race. This race, it's Domska again. In dry conditions, in regular conditions, he seems to have that edge. And Geralt absolutely pushing for that position, the podium position. Now, while weight likely matters more, it's very possible that tires matter more, of course. It's also a thing. Even if Randus pits now, he will be maybe behind, maybe ahead. The lap difference would be 5 laps, and that's mostly concerning the tires. If the tire wear is relatively tight, which it wouldn't be if he's driving for 20 laps, maybe, but he will be able to push a lot more. His tire would be better anyway. They would be faster. There's a chance that we'll have a good fight between Randus and Geralt, which is what I'm trying to say. It's honestly what I'm hoping for, because the gaps are depressing. right now. But this is what happens sometimes. And if you're driving a championship, you also have to be able to, well, just do your lap times. Just hot lap after lap after lap. Set the same time every single time. And Randers is doing a good job. Geralt is also doing a really good job. Is Randers going into pits? He's still not in the pits. He's still driving. This man needs to stop at some point. Now, there is a kind of an orthodox strategy you sometimes see where people pit on the last lap. Not on the last lap, right before the last lap. The lap before the last lap. I don't quite know what the idea would be. Dustin is now also in the pits. Of course, it looked like he had already stopped, but he had a big incident at the start. He fought himself all the way back up to essentially 5th place. But he still had to stop. Other people have already done that. Michael's already done that. And he comes out... Well, Dustin comes out ahead of Michael. These two did have a bit of a fight before, and Michael did seem to be faster. Of course, having to drive with a heavier car for longer. Big struggles. And is behind. 2 seconds. That's a gap that we can see disappear. Provided Michael really pushes, and you see Dustin's a little bit struggling. The tires will still be just a little bit cold. Will not have the best grip. But quite a few people watching, but I think only one person has so far stated their favorite driver. I want to know who people are supporting here. If you are watching, do let me know. I want to see whose fan club is really all over the stream. Oh, Michael has a bit of a fan club. He's doing a great job. Randers is stopping now. This is big. This is huge. Geralt is already at the end of the lap, though. I feel like I was looking at the delta. I thought it didn't add up. And yeah, I think Randers is actually quite a bit behind. Whereas Geralt, Randers is moving, but that's the wrong guy. Ooh, there is a gap. Randers' tires will be fresher. Is he gonna have the pace to beat Geralt? Geralt is not miles ahead, but he is ahead. And the gap is significant enough that Randers has to push. The gap that is less significant is Michael's gap to Dustin. Michael still has a little bit to catch up. I think it will be ecstatic that it's a battle Dustin. But it's more important that he keeps it all clean, of course, and that he makes that overtake nicely on track. Don't get too starstruck, I guess. It's not really starstruck. These guys know each other very well, but it's not happened yet that Michael got to battle with Dustin this season. This will be the first time. I think it will also be a big boost in confidence. Does mean that maybe if he pushes a little bit harder, practices a little bit harder, gets his start better or whatever. I don't know what happened this race exactly, but maybe he can participate in the top 5, which would become a top 6. And that also for his team would be a huge deal. That would essentially, if he can do that consistently, secure a very good spot for the team championship ahead of the Ferraris and competing with the Williams. Although today they will not be competing with the Williams, likely. Randers is still in P4. I think he's slowly catching Geralt. He's got a couple of laps. He doesn't need to be that rapid. Even P4 would be good. Michael, of course, being the solo Sauber driver, also will not be catching the Williamses on his own. Statue and Cavalo are really doing a good job because they're both driving. 7th and 8th place. 8th place is 5 points. He got 6 points for Statue. 11 points in total, which beats Randers' 9 points. So Ferrari is gonna catch up to Williams. Ferrari is gonna catch up to Sauber. As it stands, of course. We're not done yet. And Michael, if he overtakes Dustin, would absolutely limit that damage. If he makes a mistake, that is not necessarily just cutting the chicane. Oh, and he has a bit of lag. I hope he's aware that if people fight with a little bit of lag, then it can absolutely turn into a disaster. I think so far so good. The Crow's now also in the pits. I don't expect he will be... Hang on. Will he be overtaken by Geralt? He's moving now. No, I don't think he will be overtaken by Geralt. He's just a little bit too far away. I think the gap is... Yeah, the gap is still significant. I don't think... Yeah, we'll not even see Geralt. He rounds the first bend now. It's simply too big of a gap, it seems. Unless the Crow has lost all his space. Unlikely. I think Manfred is just fine. He's just covering up against... Oh, he's letting Randers by. That would be Randers. Nicely done. Also, credit to Silver. Had a bit of a... Seems to be a bit of an incident at the start of the race. Has since recovered to... Well, P12 just by staying in here. He's still dead last, to be clear. He's actually... I say dead last as if it's like... There's nothing to be done. But JJ is not that far ahead of him. And if he has the pace, he can absolutely fight with JJ. So that's actually important. We'll have to look at that. Michael is still a decent way behind Dustin. So we've got 12 drivers on track and 3 battles developing. I think that's a good score. I think we've got something nice going on here. Ride or Die. Is he gonna fight with Cafalo? Seems like it. Maybe. Cafalo lighting up his rears. It's mostly just for heat, honestly. Also just to get away. He doesn't have the traction. Ride or Die will be catching to Cavalo until the first chicane. Will not get past yet. This is also a battle that might develop. So we got 4. Randers on Geralt. We got Michael on Dustin. We got Ride or Die on Cavalo. And Silver is basically tasting the fumes of JJ's car. Minardi never looked so vulnerable. A shame for JJ. He's Oh, I say that. We cannot forget JJ has been given a 10-second time penalty for this race anyway. Essentially, Silver's already passed. He just needs to not crash, because that will be a disaster. Well, he goes around the outside. He wants to have this done on track, to be fair. This is how we are. We do want to win these races on track. Let that time penalty be irrelevant. Ooh, there's a big battle between these two. Oh, Silver just gets blocked. It's good fighting from JJ in his hover car. Looks on the inside. This is not a move you make. No, it's not. I don't think... Oh, he actually... He didn't physically push, but JJ was... gently nudged into a mistake, not physically. He has made a mistake, and JJ is now 12 behind Silver, who is 11th. It's an extra point for Silver. Oh, and JJ, I think... I don't know what happened. It looks like his wheel is connected, genuinely. What happened? I hope he's alright. I hope he's still able to drive. Hopefully... he has to retire. I hope he didn't just give up because he was last. I do hope that's the case. That is a shame. Only 11 cars left. Domska leading the pack. These two fighting. And sorry, I missed it. Randers is ahead of the Crow. This is not the fight I was expecting. The Crow has made a mistake. Sorry, I had to process that for a second. The Crow was well ahead of Geralt and Randers. Randers is a little bit behind Geralt now. That's not developing anymore. But the Crow is now fighting with Randers. for a podium. He has made a mistake. Oh, hopefully this doesn't end in tears. It has in the past. Oh, that is a beautiful overtake. That is excellent. So precise. So well done. That car was on track the whole time, even if most of it was off track. As long as a little bit of the tires is still within the white lines, it's fair. He still has to fight off Randers though. What a beautiful overtake. Absolutely, absolutely perfect. Brilliant job from the Crow, who retakes his podium position, but actually ends up behind Gerald. And that is a little bit silly, to be honest. Randers is now faster on the straights. I feel like my Amos knowledge coming back to me. The Crow has front wing damage. That's my guess. Why front wing? Because for whatever reason, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but front wing damage massively increases your drag in this game. It could be a couple of points, 1 or 2 points. Your downforce will also be affected, but not as much as your straight line speed. There will just be a lot of drag. It's like they added little parachutes. And if he's slower on the straights the way we've seen, he's still good on exit. He's still fast, but on straights he just isn't able to compete. On the inside of turn 1, that's not a place where we see moves, but he does make it. I think Randers has the better exit though. These two are just going back and forth. I think it's brilliant to see. Circumstances are a bit unfortunate. Randers is ahead of the Crow again. And he's gonna stay ahead. The straight is simply too long. Randers having less drag. The Crow having still a slightly faster car in corners. Interesting to see. Even if the circumstances promoted it a bit too much. Randers positioning his car very deliberately, I think. I think it was also just a racing line, but it's also a very good position because there's not enough space for the Crow. He could go inside, the space on the inside, but it's not a move he would make. The Crow teeing up. He's going to make this move. This is far. Oh, it is far, but it's possible, he thinks. He stays well onto the track. And there he goes. P3 again. These two will not stop fighting. There he goes again. Randers around the outside. Oh, he's going to make... He's going to make... I didn't think it would happen. But Randers again ahead. These two have been trading positions. I'm not sure if this is just for show. I'm happy with it. Brilliant fighting between these two. Of course, the differences are exaggerated by circumstances. This does make it easier for them to have a battle like this. Simultaneously, they are keeping each other alive. They're not giving each other too much space. But they're keeping each other very much alive. I feel like Randers is maybe early on the brakes on a couple of corners. That might just be his setup. That might just be his confidence on the brakes being a little less. But that is costing him the most right now. As you can see, the gap has massively decreased just because of a braking zone. Only to increase slightly again because of the drag difference. It might also just be... It's very possible that the Crow just has more downforce. Which would explain this difference. Seeing a fight between a high downforce car and a low downforce car. Relatively speaking to each other. These will still be relatively low downforce compared to other tracks. Ooh, that was a bit of a naughty move there from the Crow. Not sure it helped him. The tires do get a little bit dirty when you do that. It's not close enough right now, but he's got a couple of laps remaining to make this move. The problem is he has to stick it. That's the hard part. Randers very smart. Blocks the inside. Nowhere for the Crow to go. Randers stays ahead. Not as much back and forth this lap then. Randers not with the best exit there. And the Crow is right there. The gap is small. Stay on board with the Crow. is going to be looking for a good exit and an opportunity to get ahead on the braking again. See, he's keeping up only because of the slipstream. Around the outside then, Randers defends the inside. Is it going to be enough? Oh, he switches to Crow. Oh, and Randers has to back out. Randers had to back out there. I'm not sure what the ruling would be there. I think they've made the ruling themselves. I don't think the Crow thought that was fair. That's fine. I think that's fine. That's really good to see. That's brilliant sportsmanship. And you can tell from the way the Crow talks also in chats, of course. He's very passionate about this game, about racing. He wouldn't be happy with a move like that. It was a good experiment. I was very happy to see it. It was a very nice move. But that's not how you want to... But the concept was fine. The execution wasn't great. So it's best to leave it. Oh, and it's a bad exit for Randers. Is it going to be another opportunity for the Crow to get past? At least look bad. It might have been enough code. Inside? Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's a bit risky. Ooh. Earlier on the throttle than Randers. Just has much more downforce. Hopefully it didn't cause any damage. It can, but I don't think it did. Small touches like this, that sometimes you can just have your rear wing completely destroyed. Well, these two are fighting though. We are getting to the end of the race. These two are getting to the end of their fight. At some point we will have to pop to the leader. It will be very, very brief, I think. Because I don't think these two will let go of each other. Randers ahead, the Crow side by side though. Doesn't have the drag that Randers has. He's got more. Randers with the extra straight line speed. Oh, the Crow way later on the brakes. Is it too late? No, he makes it. That's a clean move. That's a very nice move. But Randers, as a result, earlier on the acceleration on exit, is immediately able to re-overtake. This is if he is able to do this on the last lap, and that's how he gets his podium. That is very clever. I think he might just be practicing it. And the Crow needs to find the right braking point, because if he is so late on the throttle, his move is not going to stick. Right here then, the chicane on the brake. Oh, he's later on the braking, the Crow. But if you're right behind someone that brakes earlier, you're going to run into them. Ah, that might have messed him up a little bit. He should have better pace throughout the rest of his lap, so it should be fine. As Domska starts the final lap. Things haven't changed so much around the field. Dustin's still comfortably ahead of Michael. I don't think that gap is going to shrink anymore. This gap, though, there is no gap. The Crow is right there behind Randers, and it's the final lap of the race. One more chance for the Crow to overtake. We've seen this story before, but now Randers is straight up faster out of the corner. This might be a disaster for the Crow, who is going to catch up through the slipstream alone. Randers defending the inside, though. Is it going to be enough around the outside? The Crow late on the brakes. He always is later on the brakes. He goes past. Does he make the corner? He does. Randers will be better on exit, though. Oh, a little bit of a slide. That might be what becomes his Waterloo. On the inside, though, he is faster in the straight line. Is he going to be past enough, though? Is the Crow going to be able to re-attack? He thinks about it. He doesn't do it. Randers currently in P3. And as we've seen in previous laps, it looks like the Crow is going to have to concede this. It doesn't look like it's possible anymore. But it's not over until it is over. You know what I mean? We're going to have to see this braking zone, though. I have to really quickly pop the Domska, who's about to win this race. And the Crow is still behind as Domska rounds the final few corners and becomes a three-time race winner in this championship. And there it goes across the line. Domska wins the race. Excellent job. Back to the Crow around the outside. Oh, but Randers defends. Oh, and I think that's game over. The Crow on the grass. Simply, the gap will be too big. You will have to really push. Oh, Randers is a bit wide, though. It's not possible. It's not possible, right? It's not possible. The crow is too far away. It doesn't seem to be possible. Randers will take home that podium after a mistake from the crow, who was fighting and fighting lap after lap. Did it very fairly, though. Was passed at some point, but didn't deem it fair enough. As a result, gave that position back. And I think there's... Oh, there's also a time penalty for Randers. Randers had a time penalty. It didn't matter. That's why they were fighting. Randers had a time penalty. He's in P4. Dustin finishes in P5. Michael is in P6. I think if you look at the timings, it doesn't show. Okay, is it in P6? Statue P7. Still driving. Going to finish it. Cavalo has likely already finished and is just driving for fun now. I think Statue's the last person we're waiting for. No, Silver is, who's had a rough race today. Somebody has already left. Ride or Die? I think he has finished. He has this habit of leaving immediately. I would like to request him not to, because it makes things very awkward for me. But I think it was 9th. Max Manfred in 10th, and Silver, it will be the last person to finish the Williams car. That was a lie. Cavalo was the last one to finish in the Ferrari car. P8 it is for him. I'm quickly gonna have to look at who had the fastest lap. I think it's between Domska and literally nobody else. Congratulations, Domska, on that fastest lap. And that will be the race results. Domska in P1, Gerald in P2, the Crow, then Randers, Dustin, Michael, Statue. We've got Cavalo, Max, Ride or Die, excuse me. Max Manfred, Ride or Die, really quickly left after he finished. Annoying habit, it's fine. Silver in P11 then. And then we have a retirement. JJ did retire, but he was last to retire, so he gets a point. Because only 11 people finished. And then the rest of the results, we got Maserati, who I don't think his car got refueled. I think that's the problem. HGM didn't finish. Kamikaze didn't finish. Nacho, Nolzi, and Hans Topo all had their issues and didn't finish the race. Then, yeah, okay, everything went well. Driver standings. I always like this. So we're the first to announce it, provided nothing changes, which often it does. Domska, dominantly in the lead, currently more than a race win ahead. It's a race win and the fastest lap. If he doesn't show up, Gerald needs to win the race and get the fastest lap, and he will be ahead. The Crow, also 41 points, 3 points behind Gerald. This race did not help him. He will be kicking himself. He had a chance to catch up and maybe overtake, but it's going to have to wait. Gerald's very good consistency, though. Also credit to him. Dustin losing touch a little bit with the top few. Ends up in a league of his own in P4. Randers resuming his streak of great results. Despite, I think, was a time penalty, or he didn't finish ahead of the Crow anyway. Then we got Statue. We got Michael. We got Nacho. The Sauers right behind each other. And the Ferraris sandwiching them with Cavalo on P9. Silver in P10, the Williams with 11 points. We've got Max Manfred, who has actually been showing up with great results, overtaking Abo, who is in P12. The rest of the standings, we've got Ride or Die, who got some points today. We've got HCM and Nolzi, who didn't score anything today, unfortunately. Mario wasn't here today, but he does have 2 points. JJ got an extra point today. Hans Topo finished, unfortunately, but does have a point, and the rest don't have any points, but Maserati notably in P20 right now. I think we can all agree after this race, he deserves to be higher up. He deserves to have a good result behind his name. He needs to fix his presets. I hope he hears this. I hope he checks it at least. The best thing he can do, honestly, is in practice, just drive into the pits and make sure it works. That's what he should be doing. We've got a couple of other people that didn't really get any points so far. Team standings. Ligier, of course, dominantly on top. Benetton, P2, fair. Williams, overtaking the Sauber team, who didn't have the best result today. Ferrari tying them, so that's very tight for the third place in the Constructors' Championship. Randall's doing a great job there, and Silva also hauling home some points. 2 of them, in fact, actually makes a whole difference. If he didn't do that, he would have been in P4 or P6, P5. Sorry. Yeah, Jordan, more points today with Max, 11 points. McLaren bagging some crucial points, 8 points now, and is gonna start taking that fight to Jordan. So Max and HCM will need to step it up, need to get their consistency up, and start fighting for this for getting that Jordan team into 6th place, which seems to be the highest possible right now. Parmalat team, no luck today, unfortunately. Only 1 point behind the name. In Tyrrell and Simtek. Simtek, we're expecting points. We're expecting a Maserati breakthrough any moment now, any time. Thank you all so much for watching. That was it. We're quickly going to go back to the calendar. Today was a German Grand Prix. In 2 weeks, I want to reiterate, there is a race. I may not be able to commentate it. We will have to see. It's going to be, honestly, be on the day itself. I'm going to figure out if... also, I never removed this one. That's a bit silly. Yeah, I will know on the day itself if I'm going to stream. We're going to see. If I'm in time, I will be streaming. If I'm not, it's not a championship round, you know. But it would be nice to do it. It will always be at the same time, 19 o'clock, whether we are in CET or CEST. I think starting from the Monaco Grand Prix next week, we'll be looking, in 2 weeks, sorry, we'll be looking at CEST. So daylight saving time, if you are not in a country with daylight saving times, keep that in mind. Anything else, if you want to join these races, if you enjoyed it, please do join the Discord. You can join on Wednesdays, we have races. You can join in these races. You can sign up as a reserve driver and pick any spot, or you will get a spot assigned to you for people that will not be able to join. If the grid is full, it's full, unfortunately. But yeah, better luck next time then. Anything else? Yes, if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to follow. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Vindict, and good night.